What up, what up? It's another episode of Booze and Reviews. It's your man Mugu.
Davis Way.
Yeah, my special guest today is Troy Davis, aka the Davis Way, aka Mr. Architect Entertainer himself. We doing a little something different, here for Booze and Reviews. We adding in, we're gonna talk about the musical side of movies. I mean, I think that's another big thing that brings us to come to movies is we hear the music that plays in the trailer, or we hear about an artist that might be in a movie because that's that's part of the evolution of movies. Is more artists in movies. Like the last movie, the Joker, last movie that just came out, they got Lady Gaga in it.
Right.
So if you are a influencer or somebody who is a celebrity, that type of talented, is something to bring you to the movie, to draw more people to the movie. So, so I brought in, a top-notch producer so we could talk about, some of the music in movies and some of our favorite, and I'll bring up some scenes and we'll talk about those scenes as well. But, Troy, introduce yourself to the people, man. Let them know who you are, man, and what you do.
All right. I am a Detroit Music Award winning producer for classical composition. I have been nominated for hip hop. In short, I just make beats and know things regarding the business of music.
Mm-hmm.
But long range, I assist artists outside of producing for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I assist artists on maximizing their royalties, whether it's back catalog work or up and coming work before it hits global distribution.
Wow. So basically, you helping artists get their cash up, showing them some sides of the business of when we talking about the 80s, or we talking about the TLCs and the New Edition type deals and stuff like that. Yeah. Now it's over for that.
Yeah, like now some people still, the majors will still have 360 deals, but right now is best time as an independent artist to release music, especially if you know each platform to collect your royalties from.
Right.
Because it's not just whatever distribution you have, whether it's DistroKid or CD Baby. You got performance rights organizations, you got mechanical royalties, you got non-transferable royalties like Sound Exchange to collect. So It's just one song play, your royalties will break down to probably 6-7 different ways.
Wow. As far as where you getting them from.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I think a lot of people don't. I think they a story that comes from the Lion King movie, right? Mm-hmm. And I think you might have heard about the story. Young guy who did the voice for Simba. Yeah. So they came to him and was like, "Yeah, you know what? We could pay you $100,000 right now for you to sing the song and this, that, and the other." And I think his mom came back with him and was like, "You know what? What if you don't take that money?"
Right.
And they was like, they try to downplay it. But you got to think, you're playing this movie to be a headline movie. So it's going to get seen. You're going to hear the song millions and millions of times. It wound up becoming, a stage play, a Broadway stage play. So now this song is being heard all over the place. And that's where all of them times, that's where that money kick in.
Yeah.
Wow. So he accepted the royalties instead of taking the money.
Right, because if he took the money, he would have fell under work for hire. Meaning they would have paid him a certain amount up front, and that's all he get as long as that movie be out. Right. Now he's still generating royalties from that movie every time it plays.
Man, and as we talk about 15 years since that movie came out, he's still
at this point
going on what, 20?
Almost 30.
See what I'm saying? That movie been out that long, and you still making money from it.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we when you watch your police dramas and your police horror movies or whatever, they tell you what, follow the money. So when you follow the money, you lead it back to, probably more prosperity.
Yeah.
And a longer term prosperity.
So for instance, Quincy Jones did the theme song for Sanford and Son. Right? Every time it comes on, he get paid the exact same amount he got paid when it first aired So if he was making, I don't know, let's say $40,000 to $50,000 per episode, then
Right.
every rerun he's getting an extra percentage. But for the actors, they get residuals, and residuals you don't get paid the same amount every airing.
Wow.
So if they have like a full marathon of 20 episodes, he's getting the highest he could get for doing the music. But the actors that's still living from it, they get a fraction and then another fraction every year as long as it goes on.
So so when we talk about a show or like going into syndication,
Right.
meaning that a sitcom is already done its run, it's probably over, and now it's just a replay of all of the episodes, and you get money for those royalties are generated from that too as well.
Right, but with the reruns, they'll count as residuals, not necessarily royalties. Royalties will fall more so the music of the show.
Okay.
But the residuals, that will come more so for the actors.
Right.
They'll get their upfront money, but then once the reruns come in, then it's like, okay, you get a fraction of this. Then you get a smaller fraction.
Right.
That's like when Hollywood went on strike, I think it was last year, 2 years ago, and a lot of them were showing their checks like, okay, I only made $8 off of this episode.
Right.
But if it came to music, whatever they earned from that episode airing, they would get the same amount consistently.
Wow.
Now the good and bad of it, until recently they had a Music Modernization Act on all the pros performance rights organizations.
Exactly.
Because they never went up on the price of it. So when it first established in the early 1900s, artists was getting paid the exact same amount from the 60s, 70s, 80s per radio play.
Wow.
So if you was living well, making 25 cents per song being played on the radio then in 1920, 1930.
Yeah.
But once it's 94, 2014, and you're still getting 25 cents a song,
Nah. Right.
yeah, so it's like, you have inflation, you got the price of cost of living going up, but y'all never changed as far as for the artists regarding music.
Exactly. Wow. So basically, and then you hear about this like it's a lot of money left on the table.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money left on the table.
and
But who scoops that money up though?
That money go to the big three industry labels. Because your royalties will fall under what is called the black box royalties.
Right.
So, like I said, if you don't have your song registered correctly and you're only getting, let's say you release a project through DistroKid and you only earn the money from DistroKid, those other unclaimed royalties will go to the black box royalties, and those high executives will divvy out however they're going to do it.
Wow.
On that level.
Man. So when we talk about the movie side of it, so like with you, the opportunities I see for you is the score of a movie.
Yeah.
Produce your own movie. And then having music in movies.
Right.
Or sync, what do they call it?
Yeah, it's sync. It's
Okay.
under sync.
Okay.
For me, I prefer getting in contact with the music supervisor of a film. That way they will know the business end of it and register the cue sheets. And with the cue sheets is how I will see my royalty statements come in. So it's like with a cue sheet, they'll break down what part of your song we use.
Right.
And how long it is. And a lot of times artists will tell me like, oh, my song is in a movie. And it's like, okay, who was the music supervisor? And it's like, there wasn't one. So those royalties that you could generate, you can't generate unless you get in contact with those film studios.
Wow.
Even on the independent level. So if it's like, for us, we know so many people that's making independent Detroit films. But if they don't submit the cue sheet of the music they use, those royalties will generate and could be on Tubi, but you as an artist is not getting paid anything, but except to say, I got music on Tubi.
And say, I mean, everybody's seen it. And so now you got all these people going to see it and you can't generate the money off of it.
Right.
Wow. Just because of some paperwork and somebody that you need to talk to.
Yeah.
Wow. Again, small work can get you a big reward, a big yield.
Yeah.
Wow. So we got you on Booze and Reviews. We do movie reviews. So the idea is like, so what is your favorite genre of movie?
Oh, easy horror.
Wow. Okay, so horror. See, my man my boy T. Roy, up under the weather. My brother Critique, is not able to be here, but I know they kicking themselves right now because they love horror movies.
Okay,
We are in the month of October, so if you check us out, month of October, Booze and Reviews, you can see all of the, we all picked a horror movie to go out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I picked Deliverance.
Okay.
That was a newer one. Critique picked Phantasm, and T. Roy had picked Fright Night.
Yeah, Fright Night.
So you the horror.
So I haven't seen Deliverance yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't seen Deliverance yet, but Phantasm, yeah. The original, oh yeah.
So now if you watch our review on YouTube, which you can subscribe for free, if you watch that, you'll see that it's based on how we did it. Like, so Phantasm is from like 79, then Fright Night is like 84, and then I got like the newest one.
Right.
So we wanted to mix it up like that.
Okay.
And to me, I think it's a lot. The practical stuff now is not gone. It's still good, but it's not as what it used to be, like the practical effects. Yeah. So like now it's more CGI.
Yeah.
That type of deal.
Well,
They still got some.
it depends on the genre you're watching.
Right.
Because like if you're watching horror and it's a slasher, that's more so practical effects.
Okay, so blood.
Yeah.
Slice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's still more practical.
Okay. So like with Fright Night, the practical in that is where the boy is a wolf and he's turning back after he got killed or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, man. So they see. I set it up. Hey, this is how we do it. So yeah, man. So it was some movies that I was like, I just randomly went through and just some that just popped in. So it was like Set It Off, right?
Okay.
So Cleo's death scene, it's like that song. Like that song is like so poignant. It hits right at the time. It touches your emotions as well. And I think what do my notes say? It's called Against the Wind, and it was sung by Lori Perry. Yeah. So that's one scene of a movie where again music. I mean they gotta walk hand in hand, and they have to walk hand in hand. So it's like, what's a way to promote a movie without having a song?
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You have to have like a 2024 silent film or something like that.
I mean, we might see that come back. Somebody might actually try to do that.
Yeah.
What you think? Like, would you think like that a hit? Do you think it'll be?
It'll have to be like a student film or something like that, 30, 40 minutes. But as far as a blockbuster silent film, nah.
Okay. So it's like another movie franchise is like Marvel. I pick Guardians. I say Guardians of the Galaxy because they use so much music in that movie. I mean, I just to name some, man. I just was going through the track list, and this is just volume. I went through different volumes because they had a whole bunch of, volume 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
So, and it was based as a mixtape.
Right.
So it was sweet. So it was like, you got the Jackson 5, I Want You Back, Ain't No Mountain High Enough, Marvin, Tammy, Come and Get Your Love, Redbone, Beastie Boys, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And that scene is volume 3. That's when they're getting ready to fight all the hell spawns.
Right.
And they open the door and it's like a whole bunch of them, man. That was just sweet. Like, because the guitar play in the Beastie Boys, and just how that raw. It just
and I like they have, like I said, a diverse genre in each film.
Yes.
So it's not just classic hip hop or classic R&B or even far back with classic soul. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. And I mean that's all based off like what the timing you're making the movie. Like, what is the timing you putting it around it? This is funny because they out of space, and this is way in the future. So he's playing all of these nostalgic, songs that everybody is going to.
Right, but it was still based off of the tapes his mother gave him.
Exactly.
So it's like her favorite music he's listening to.
Yeah.
But and that's why, like, as far as like the difference between watching Guardian of the Galaxies to the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Now with the Avengers, that's more like, okay, full composed elements where it's like, okay, we hear the growth of the production, where it's original composition.
Mm-hmm.
With Guardians of the Galaxy, it's more fun. It's like, okay, outside of seeing a movie and the action, it's like, oh, I want to see what music they're gonna have in this movie.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah. They made it. Yeah, they made it to where every movie you come see, oh, we gonna have some stuff ready.
right.
Yeah. So yeah, and it did definitely make you want to go see the movie so you could see what song they was gonna play. Wow. And then it's like for me, hip hop. You know, one of the movies, it wasn't Bumblebee, but it was the Beast Wars, the last Transformer.
Oh yeah.
And they just straight went into their hip hop bag. They just went into a hip hop bag. I mean, you was in New York, so
Yeah.
you had to get the Wu-Tang, you had to have all of that. Black Sheep, you had all that through there, man.
Yeah.
It was sweet. What was a movie that like what was some of the music in the movies that you liked? That you know.
Let's see. For me, honestly, I had to go specifically with John Williams.
Okay, John Williams.
Specifically, because there's so many movies in my childhood that he did, and me finding out as an adult, he did all these movies. So, like, the theme song to Jaws, the theme song to Jurassic Park, the theme song to the original, well, not original, but Superman with Christopher Reeves, Star Wars.
Wow.
All of the Star Wars. Like, the original, the, prequels, and the last three he did all the music for.
Wow. So John Williams is basically like, let's say the person you talking about, like the musical director of a movie, and he had to plot all of this stuff out.
No, he's more of a composer. Now, the music supervisor is the one that picked the songs to go in the movie.
So the supervisor picks the songs,
Yeah.
and then John Williams is the composer.
Right.
And then just all of those classic movies that you just named.
Yeah.
You know, he's done all of those.
Yes.
Wow.
He just retired like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Wow. A movie composer.
Yeah.
Movie music composer.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he'll make music specifically for the films he's working on. So like if you remember the scene from, like I said, the theme song from Jaws.
Right.
When the cellos first come in, that was him.
Yeah, because that's not an artist that makes that. That's a composer that puts that together. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then, like you say, Star Wars. That's not an original song made by somebody.
Once the trumpets go, everybody know instantly before the rest of the music.
Right. So we know we watching.
Yeah.
Man. So it's like, so with all of that, me, myself, and Irene. So every time he changes, you know, his personality, that was one of the like funny parts of the movie for me. So I was like, you key in on that. Never knew the song. Looked it up today. The song is Fire Like This by Hard Knocks.
Okay.
And so it's a weird, like, okay, well, you got somebody change your personality. It's no real soundtrack for that. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever it is. So this song that they use, man, is sweet. It's just like, it starts off with a lot of drum percussion, and then it's a real simple song, but it's sweet, you know, for that change. So, let me see, Menace to Society.
Yeah.
You know, we could pick a lot, but I picked one, and I picked Kane when he got the Mustang.
Okay.
And that Computer Love hit. Man.
Yeah.
You see the Dayton rims, man, like he turning the corners, like it hit right. It just hit so right, man. So it's a lot. It's a lot of. So what opportunity? So like with all of these movies going on, and you know, independent movies going on, what is the opportunity you see for yourself as a music producer?
Honestly, especially with independent filmmakers able to have easier access with Tubi compared to other streaming platforms. If you have a professional and qualified team making the movie,
Right.
and as far as the talent I've been around in the Michigan music scene, it could be just a continuation of great movies and great soundtracks, and that's one thing I don't see enough of when it comes to independent films and soundtracks. Because especially when in the late '80s, early '90s, you had the quote unquote hood movies, and you knew their soundtracks. Whether it was Menace, Boys in the Hood, Juice, New Jack City. Just think of the soundtracks as well as the movies.
Exactly.
But then if you flip it and say, okay, what about love stories like the Boomerang soundtrack?
Yes.
The Best Man soundtrack.
Yeah. Brown Sugar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So soundtracks is the one thing I feel like that the independent film community should really invest in.
Yeah. Wow.
Because it's cool to say, okay, this song is in a movie, but then people want to hear that song outside of just watching the film. And the song might be made exclusively for the film, but it's like, how can I hear it again? But I don't want to watch the movie for like a 15 to 30-second snippet of it.
Just for that spot.
Yeah.
Wow. Because that's like Black Panther. When that came out,
oh man,
first, my kids would not let me turn the car on without playing like the first. I think it was the first Kendrick Lamar song. I had to find a clean version, but
right.
I had to find a clean version. But other than that, man, they wouldn't let me start the car without that. And I think it was another song they had too, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Like soundtracks don't. Even a lot of times with major films, soundtracks don't have the push they used to have, where the movie studio will put the money behind getting artists, getting engineers, and so forth. Right. But on the independent level, yes, we can do all that now. It's just you got to make sure you have qualified people to do it.
And I think you get we did. Jordan Curry. He made for this. That's on Tubi. He's a young prodigy movie maker, 20-something years old. Man, made that movie, put it together. Very good storyline. I'll tell you, go. Make sure you see it. We got a review up on our page as well. But yeah, man. I mean, him being in that range, now he bring a whole other genre of music in, and like now he's probably mingling with more people. But we watch this, we want to have this out there so they know to look towards you. They know to look toward the other people who we're going to have in the future. As far as, all right, man, I think the biggest soundtrack as of recently was Barbie.
Yeah.
Where it hit the killed on the Oscar scene or something like that. They got an Oscar for that. And it's like, Barbie? So, but it's not that Barbie that is whack or nothing like that, but it's more or less like, okay, it ain't your music, but the fact that all these people tuned in, but I would guess that a lot of them are kids, but they playing it every day. And that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? And it's like all the way to the obscure movies. Like, so I like documentaries.
Yeah.
So it's a documentary. I don't know if you heard of it. You probably did. It's called Soul in the Hole.
I have not heard of it.
Well, man. So I've watched it probably once, but heard the soundtrack billions of times. And the soundtrack got people like Dead Prez, M.O.P., Woo, Cocoa Brothers, you know what I'm saying, Exhibit, Brand Nubian. All this, man, that soundtrack was that was probably one of my favorite soundtracks.
Okay.
Like complete, like you could just play it. Compton, although that was like wasn't released in a movie theater, but it was still a movie. That Compton had a hot soundtrack. Yeah. It had a lot of good people on it. And then you get to hear new artists too. Some are new artists that you never heard of. You get to hear some new artists too. So.
Right.
So it's just something to mix it up. So how many projects do you actually have, and what's the new stuff? What's coming up?
Currently out, I have under 10 projects, but I probably released maybe 14.
Okay, but 14.
Most recently, in September, I released an instrumental project called Liberated Sounds.
Okay.
With that project, I focused on it as if it was a resume of the different styles of production I can do.
Okay.
On October 4th, me and Conflict, an artist that's under Architect and one of my closest friends, 'cause I got, like I said, a small circle of people I really cool with.
Right.
And we released a sequel of our project, Way Too Conflicted.
Okay.
And this one is called Way Too Conflicted. It's just with the number 2 instead of TOO.
What do you feel like you guys' bond is like? Because it got to be a bond. It's one project. Now you doing 2. What do you feel like the bond is?
So what's funny, the second project started off as a joke.
Okay.
So we was halfway through the first project, and I'm just joking. It's like, oh, okay, hey, what if we did a second project and called it Way Too Conflicted and had it with the number 2 on it? He was like, all right, bet, we doing that. I'm like, wait, we not done with this one. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna get through with this one, and then we're gonna work on that one. That's like, all right. And so I'm thinking as a producer, like, the first project, we knocked that out, honestly, 2 weeks. 2 weeks,
Wow.
about 2-3 weeks. 3 weeks if you count the CDs we had pressed up. But for me sending him beats and recording, about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This one we wanted to take more time because we wanted to have more growth with it. Have it feel more like, okay, this will be us in our high school years, but this will be us in our adult years.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay,
yeah.
So Way Too Conflicted. We got to definitely check that out. As you can see, we got some of the projects around here right now that you can see, and we're gonna put a link up on this video so you guys can go and check out all of his projects, and then all of the offshoots and all of the people that he work with. You can definitely go see.
Including you.
Oh, wow. There it is. Yeah, so it's on Monumental.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So you can
he
see.
was on my first project with Feature.
Man, running on E.
Yep.
Running on E.
On Eclipse album.
And then Monumental. So, wow. I mean, just to keep us all in the collaboration and keep the ideas flowing. That's the main thing. So, today, so we definitely, I could not do this interview without asking my brother to, bless us with some of the new joints that he got, you know what I'm saying? You can run through them, you don't have to play them all, but you know what I'm saying? I think we went through and picked out some, but just to give people a taste, the artist can hear, the sincerity and the skillfulness that you make that you do your music with, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, so we're going to let them rock with us real quick, and then we're going to take you out.
All right. Start with this.
You are now listening to Troy Davis on Booze and Reviews. think, like again, when you listen, I think from an artist point of view, you listening to a track, you trying to put yourself in a place. I think probably like the middle years that I really started rap, let's say like in early 90s, I really started seeing the vision with music, meaning I always put in a story. In that time, it's like I'm putting together a video. So I'm thinking of a video. Then later on, I was like, wow, if I could make 4 videos, I could take them 4 videos and make them into a small movie and keep building on that. That's just how I started coming to when I heard music. Just, man, I think of the visuals. What type of story is this? Like, is this putting me in the 70s? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Am I Shaft? And then some of the stuff that people make, put you in a futuristic mind state. So it's like, man, do I got a lightsaber? And that type of stuff. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, so you're going to bless us again. So, let's see what we got here.
All right.
Now listening to the sounds of Troy Davis on Booze Reviews. Man, so if you're an artist right now, man, you can see the depth, you can see the different feels that you're gonna get, man. And just think about it if you get to sit down and we cooking from scratch. So the idea, the theme, very professional, man. That's the best. I mean, anybody that I deal with, I would say, is very professional, and definitely you have been that, utmost. You know what I'm saying? So, so what we're gonna do now is, so we said what your favorite genre was. What was your favorite horror movie?
Overall, I have to say Halloween.
The original Halloween. Wow. See, this is a big contrast with these guys. Nightmare on Elm Street, we got a review of that up. And then The Thing, Critique picked The Thing, and T. Roy picked Elm Street. So these are those type. Man, this is a great conversation, and you're gonna probably see a lot of comments on this video once it go up. And just make sure you're checking it out so you can see and interact, because that's what we want you to do. We want you to like, share, subscribe, and definitely leave those comments, because we want you to interact with us so that we can figure out, hey, maybe we need to pick some movie that you are going to ask us to do. Or, we do a people's poll where we put up 3 movies that people ask, and who's ever is voted the most, that's one we pick, and then we go from there.
Okay.
And so, so we're going to wrap it up. We're going to let my man Troy take us out with one more. And this is Booze and Reviews. This your man Mugu, here for your man T-Roy and Critique. And we got our special honored guest, Troy Davis, a.k.a. The Davis Way, a.k.a. Mr. Architect Entertainment himself, going to take us out.